Hi crafty friends, welcome back to Crafting with the Gringas. In today's video we're going to be doing our last binder clip pincushion, which is going to be a mushroom. And so right now I've got my little base. If you haven't seen that video, go back and check it out. It's the part 1 of the, I believe it says something along the lines of what did we crochet with a binder clip or something like that. And so you can check that out, and it says part 1. Okay, and that's where we're going to get the base of our pincushion from. We're going to need some scissors, a pen, some cardboard. My cardboard's from a cereal box, and some stuffing, and then obviously the yarn of your choice to make your mushroom. Mine are going to be these two. That's what I'm going to be using with this. So let's get started. This is around a 3 weight, and then I've got a 2.5 millimeter hook. We're going to insert our hook into that front loop, and we can pull a loop of our yarn through that and chain 1 and drop our tail, and then we're going to chain 2 more, and in that same stitch we're going to do another double crochet, and then in the next stitch we're going to do 2 double crochets. So just like we did on the cactus video, if you saw that. And then the next we're going to do 2 double crochets. So we're just going to keep doing 2 double crochets all the way around until we get to the other end. Okay, so I'm going to meet you back at the other end when we have 2 double crochets in each stitch. Okay, I'm back with 2 double crochets in each stitch. This is what mine looks like so far. And I just wanted to let you guys know, because I'm sure that you'll notice, or that you have noticed, I did switch out yarns. I've got this and this. As I was working on it, I just realized that this pink and this beige weren't going to be enough. This wasn't going to be enough, and this I'm pretty sure wasn't going to be, but I'm just going to find another fun project. And I think I might actually make a mushroom out of these. I'll just have to see. So for now I'm just going to be using these, which are a similar weight to what I had there already. And so this is the yarn that I normally use in my tutorials, because that's what I have most of. So now I've got two double crochets into each stitch. So onto this chain 3 that we made, I'm just gonna, in that 3rd chain, I'm gonna slip stitch. Okay, and then we're gonna chain 3. And if you watch the cactus video, that's what we're gonna be doing. So we're gonna be doing, this chain 3 is gonna count as a double. And then my next double crochet, I'm going to do a front post double crochet. So it's going to be a normal double and then a front post double crochet all the way around. So let's see how we do that. So I've got, that's going to count as a double crochet. I'm going to yarn over. I'm going to insert my hook onto the side, not into the V at the top, but on the side. And I'm going to come out the other side. Okay, and then we're going to yarn over and pull up a loop through that stitch. Then we're going to pull through 2 of those strands, and then that leaves 2. We're going to pull through the other 2. Okay, and that's called a front post double crochet. The next stitch, it's kind of hard to see, but if you separate them, the next stitch is going to be this one. So we're going to do a normal double crochet on that. And we're going to yarn over. So we see we've got that there, and so it's this next one. We're going to do a front post. And then if you separate it, you can see we've got the next one is a normal double crochet. We're going to do one more front post, and then before I meet you back to the start. Okay, so we're just make sure we're gonna go into this one. We're gonna yarn over, insert our hook through the front part of our stitch, not into the V. Yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. We're just going to continue to do that all the way around until we get back to this where we started from, and so that's where I'll meet you back. Okay, I'm back. So I've got my chain 3 right here and then my last front post stitch, and I'm just gonna slip stitch into that 3rd chain. So I'm just gonna chain 1 and I can cut my yarn. And I'm gonna get my next color and I can join that. And what I'm going to do is I'm gonna leave the front loop and I'm only gonna go into the back loop. So back loop only for this first row. So I'm gonna loop my yarn on my hook and pull it through, and from there I'm gonna chain 1, holding both of those just to secure it a little bit better, and then we can drop that. You can just drop those off to weave in later. Okay, so like I say, I'm gonna be doing single crochets in every stitch all the way around, but back loop only. So that's just going through that back loop, and we're leaving the front one, and that's what it's gonna do. It's gonna help the top portion to turn. Okay, so back loop only. I'm gonna single crochet into each stitch, and I will meet you back when we're back at our first stitch. Okay, I'm back. So I've got my whole round in the back loop only, which gives us this little ridge. And you see how the pink portion that I'm doing pink, like I haven't mentioned, you guys can use whatever color you want. Just make sure it can be just a bit, about a 3/4 weight probably would be best. So this next stitch, I'm just gonna grab, this was our little chain. I'm gonna grab that as well as I can, and I'm gonna single crochet into it, and we can go through both loops now. Okay, you can add a stitch marker. I'm just gonna guide myself after every round by having gotten back to my ends right here. So I know when I come back onto these ends, that's when I've gotten to the end. But you definitely can use a stitch marker. So I'm just gonna keep doing a single crochet in each stitch. I'm gonna do 4 rounds of single crochet. But before we do the rest of our 4 rounds, what we're gonna do is we need to make a rough circle so we can have a little barrier. We're only gonna do it with our little bottom of the mushroom. So just a circle that's about that size before it gets too hard to do. So I'm just gonna find a piece of cereal box or anything like that. Just make a rough circle. It's probably nicer to use pencil just so you don't get any on your project. Okay, so that's mine. I'm going to cut that out and then we'll see in a minute if we need to adjust it or anything like that, but having that's going to help us. So I will meet you back when I've got my 4 rows completed. Okay, I'm back with my 4 rows done. As you can see, we have a nice little ridge, and what we're going to do on the next row is going to be a decrease, which I'm going to be doing the invisible decrease. We can put our stitch marker, and then we're going to do 10 single crochets. So decrease, 10 single crochets, a decrease, 10 single crochets. There's my third, fourth, fifth, sixth, eighth, 9, and 10. And I am generally used to going, when I do projects like this, only into the front loop, but you guys can, if you're more comfortable going into both, that's just fine. I just wanted to point that out because you'll probably see me doing that fairly often, and it's not that it has to be like that, it's just my personal preference generally, since I do a lot of amigurumi. So I've got my 10, and I'm going to do another decrease. As you also can do a regular decrease, I just generally tend to do the invisible one for the same, and then another 10. Okay, so I'm going to meet you guys back when we get back to our stitch marker. Okay, I'm back at my stitch marker, so we'll remove that. Okay, so we're going to do a decrease in this first stitch and add our stitch marker. And in this round we're going to be doing 8 single crochets, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay, and then a decrease. Another 8, decrease, 8, decrease until we get to the other end. Okay, I'm here back at my stitch marker, and for the next 2 rounds we're going to be doing a simple rounds of single crochet only. Add our stitch marker. So we're going to go around 1 time and reach the stitch marker, and then go around 1 more time, making 2 rounds of single crochet. When I'm at my stitch marker, I will see you back here so we can see how it's turning out. Okay, so we've got our decrease, and then we're going to do 7 single crochets. And that's how we're going to do it all the way around. Our 1 decrease, 7 single crochets, a decrease, 7 single crochets. Okay, I'm back, so I'm going to remove my stitch marker. Now we're going to do a decrease, and then 6 single crochets for the whole next round. So till we get back to the stitch marker, so I'm going to do our decrease. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Another decrease, and then another 6 single crochets. Okay, now I will be right back when I've reached my stitch marker. Okay, so before we do anything else, we're going to put our cardboard in just to keep our fingers from getting poked down here at the bottom of the clip. Okay, so we've got that all nice and ready, and we can remove our stitch marker. Okay, and then we're going to do a decrease, and 5 single crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Another decrease. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, and we're going to continue that until we get back to our stitch marker, and I will meet you back there. Okay, so I'm back to my stitch marker. It is the next day, so we have a little bit of light. I was noticing that we have some noisy crickets, so I decided to wait until the next day to finish filming this. The next 2 rounds we're going to do just simple rounds of single crochet without any decreases. We can put our stitch marker back. And we're just going to go around once, reach our stitch marker, and then go around again. And once we've gone around and done those 2 rows of normal single crochets, I'll meet you back so we can get started with the rest. Okay, I'm back at my stitch marker, so I'm going to remove that. So we've got our 2 rows of normal single crochet, and now what we're going to do is do a decrease. And return our stitch marker, and then 4 single crochets. So this round is going to be 1 decrease and 4 single crochets, 1 decrease and 4 single crochets. We're going to do that all the way around until we get back to our stitch marker. Okay, I'm back to my stitch marker. I'm going to remove that, and we're going to do this next round's going to be a decrease and then 3 single crochets. That's what we're going to do the whole way around, like we've been doing in the other rounds. So decrease and then 3 single crochets, a decrease and 3 single crochets. And we're going to do that all the way around until we get back to our stitch marker. Okay, I'm back to my stitch marker, and as you can see, our project's really starting to close up. And so at this point what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some stuffing. So we can just add our stuffing in there. Like I'm always amazed at how much stuffing actually can go into some of these little items, right? It just seems like you just keep stuffing and stuffing and they never get full. Okay, so for the next round, we're going to be doing a decrease and then 2 single crochets. A decrease and 2 single crochets all the way around. Decrease and 2 single crochets. And I will meet you back when we get to our stitch marker. Okay, so I'm back to my stitch marker, and now we're going to do a decrease and 1 single crochet. We can add our stitch marker back. So we're just going to do a decrease and a single crochet, a decrease and a single crochet, and a decrease. Okay, and so we can remove our stitch marker. Okay, if you need to add just a little bit more stuffing, you can do it right now before we close it off completely. Just going to get my trusty scissors to help me just fill this up a little bit. Okay, so we have just a little more stuffing in there. Okay, so at this point, we're just gonna cut our yarn. We can close that off with our needle. So I'm just gonna go grabbing the front loops of my stitch. Till I get back to the other end. Okay, and then I can just pull that tight, and we can just weave in that end, making sure we secure that opening so that it's not going to want to come undone. And as always, we need to do short, deliberate stitches that are going to be hiding our tail as we weave it in. Okay, and to bring that out, and then we can cut that off. Okay, so we could leave it here. We've got a cute little mushroom, but I'm going to be adding a little door to make mine look like a little mushroom house. And then I've got a little bit of green embroidery thread that I'm just going to embroider up the side, and then a few little flowers to put on the side. We'll see how much of that I need. I don't have any hot glue on hand, so at the moment I'm just gonna put a few pins through this to keep it how I want it, to keep that in place. So I'm gonna get my green. I'm just gonna start here at the bottom. We'll just go sewing it, making a few stitches just to look like it's a little bit of a vine. And have it go up, you can have it go up above the door a little bit. So we're just going to do simple little stitches, just kind of however you decide you want to do them. How you decorate yours however you want with the colors that you want. This is what I'm going to be decorating mine with. Let's learn how to make the little doorway, and then we can learn how to make the little flowers. For the doorway, I got some of this yarn that I was wanting to use a little bit of. I'm going to insert my hook right here at the bottom and pull my tail up. Okay, and so we're going to insert your hook into that and pull through a loop, and that's going to make our chain, so to speak. Okay, and then we're going to grab another loop, and then to get more yarn we're going to go back into the hole and pull up a loop, and then we can make a single crochet. And so you can crochet around this, or you could also just go wrapping some yarn around. For me, I just felt like it was a little faster to crochet it. So I always get a tangled mess when I'm trying to wrap yarn around stuff. But okay, so we're just going to do a few stitches in the middle there. I am going over my tail, so if you wanted to go over your tail, you can. If not, you can just weave it in later. Okay, and so I'm gonna start making single crochets along this bottom. So we're just going to keep crocheting all the way around. I'm back and I'm here and I'm reaching the little corner that I have here. Okay, it's almost there. I'm gonna do a stitch right there. And then we can just go around this top part now. You want to make sure your stitches stay close together so that it covers the top of the can pretty well. So you just want to scooch those down. Make sure you be careful because if it's a little bit sharp, you don't want to cut yourself. I think that mine's not that bad, but it probably just depends on the top of the can that we're using. Okay, and then so we're just going to keep crocheting around that until we get to the end. Okay, and then you're just going to weave in, you're going to fasten it off and weave in your ends. Trying to make it look a little bit uniform right here. You know, just kind of pulling that down so that it looks the same on both sides. Okay, so that's how I made my little door. Now let's do a flower. You can use normal yarn. I just chose to do this little embroidery thread because I thought it'd be fun and it matched pretty well with the yarn. So I just made a slip knot and I'm going to chain 7. I'm using a 2.5 millimeter crochet hook, but you can go down a hook size if you want. It'll make them just a tiny bit smaller. Mine I did make with this 2.5. You don't have to use embroidery floss. You can also use just a thinner yarn. So I've got 3. The first 3 I'm just going to put 2 single crochets into, and then the last 3 I'm going to do 2 half double crochets into. Okay, and then we're just going to fasten that off. And we can cut our thread. You'll want to make sure that you leave enough to weave it in. Okay, and then I'm just going to make my little flower. With a needle, we can just go through. I usually just pick the longest one, and you're just going to want to go through the base of that back and forth a couple times just to make it nice and secure. So this is the base and then this is the front. Okay, and then after that you can just give it a good tie and it's ready to either glue on or weave in. Okay, so I'm going to decorate mine and I'll be back when mine is all decorated. Okay, this is how my pincushion turned out. I haven't decorated the back yet. Still trying to decide if I'm going to or not. But this is what mine turned out. And then I'm going to still be hot gluing this on. You can also use fabric glue to glue it on or just sew it on. So yeah, and this is going to be the last video for now of our little binder clip pincushion series. Maybe in the future we'll be making a few more, I don't know. But for now this is going to be the last one. So I hope that you enjoyed these 3 tutorials. I hope you have a good day and I will see you in the next one. Bye!